Times Influence Initiative.
The Digital India Summit and Awards 2017, hosted annually by the Times Network and now in its third edition, has become a thought leadership platform on powering the country's digital economy. And the Digital India Hero Series is an attempt to highlight the award-winning, groundbreaking digital initiatives that are transforming India's corporate and socio-economic landscapes alike.
Welcome to the Digital India Summit Winners Series. Finding a foothold in the fashion world is no small feat, but Ira House of Designers is going digital and disrupting the industry in the process. Here's how.
Ira House of Designers is changing the face of the fashion industry. With its award-winning collaboration platform, budding fashion designers can now break through the clutter and receive a legitimate opportunity to popularize and monetize their design prowess. By leveraging digital technology to crowdsource innovative design concepts, Ira has adopted an entrepreneurial approach to bringing fashion talent to the forefront.
There's no shortage of fashion design talent that never sees the light of day on the runway. Why is that in your view?
It's very true that there are lots of people who are talented fashion experts and designers and they don't get a chance. There are three main reasons to it. One is access. The access reason being that if they are from a place like a Jaipur or an Aurangabad or a Jharkhand, they never get to reach out to the audience that actually will buy their clothing, right? Who have the disposable income to afford that. Therefore, access becomes a huge challenge. The second and the most important thing, you have to invest. Because if you talk about the fashion industry as such, not everybody today goes to a bank and can get a loan or get a funding from a VC or an equity partner who would invest in their talent for a long-term proposition. So everybody wants to see instantaneous results, right? So not everybody has the financial backing to become a Sabyasachi or a Tarun Tahliani. So there are dreams that are dying in households every day. And the third and the most important aspect is communication. What I mean by communication is that every fashion designer has to be a fantabulous salesperson. So the textile industry in India is close to about 50 billion, which means the possibility is humongous. Somebody has to just come and disrupt it.
What is Ira's approach to the problem, and what is the insourcing and collaboration platform designed to achieve?
We started Ira with a fundamental problem statement. We wanted to bridge the gap between talent and buyers, right? You cannot do it feet on street. So the Ira Design Collaboration Platform has opened up its technology, or rather the opportunity, to hundreds and thousands of talented designers, not necessarily from an NIFT or NID. You can be a housewife who has passion in designing, who's good with art, sketching something out, taking a picture over the phone and mailing it to us. It's that simple. So the question is, can we bring people closer using technology and give them an opportunity to monetize their talent by getting them more accessible to buyers?
There seems to be a hybrid online and offline model in play here. How scalable is this model?
The mantra in Indian manufacturing, e-commerce, or any other form of commerce, mobile commerce, you tell me, is that digital is a platform to showcase what you have. Offline is a platform for fulfillment. It's like this. We had a very clear roadmap, like I like to call it, in our framework of building IRA. It was very simple. The first year, we are going to focus on having an online and an offline presence just to understand the customer's buying patterns, right, before we expand into further cities. So we started with Bangalore, and we started with just offline. We didn't want to even do online because we wanted to see people's responses to our clothing. Within a matter of 6 months, we broke even because people were loving what they were seeing at such an affordable price. Because when you walk into a designer store, you think of shelling out about 40,000-50,000 rupees, but here they could take away a designer garment for anywhere between 2,000 to 10,000 rupees. And that led us to kind of believe that we can now take the model online. The model is structured in a way that it's meant to be scalable. So if you look at the manufacturing industry as such, there are 3 parts to it. The first part comes with sourcing. Sourcing is about the kind of fabrics that you want to pick up from weavers, from garment manufacturer, and so on. Then comes the design part, which is the critical part, right? Because at the end of the day, a fabric has no life till it actually embodies somebody and makes them look good. So design becomes the critical and the most essential part. And always the challenge with most boutiques and fashion houses has been the lack of talented designers, because they're always looking to pick up people from institutions. And where do they find them? After they leave the institution, they go back to where they came from, or maybe working with larger fashion brand names and never get to have a name of their own. So with IRA, the scalability part is that talent is already there. We know that the market demand is already there because the exports are increasing by almost 10% year on year. The number of people who can afford, clothing is kind of, when I say clothing, is curated clothing, is increasing by 17% year on year. So demand is there. The lack of supply was the talent. And the third important angle is manufacturing, which we already have, because manufacturing pretty much is like a structured, conventional method of doing production.
For fashion designers, protection of their design, which is ultimately their IP, is everything. How do you incentivize them to participate in this platform?
Now, the first thing that we are doing is we are not restricting ourselves to designers with a degree, right? We are opening our platform to anybody who's talented. Secondly, what we are doing is the way we are building loyalty is by royalty. So for every sale that happens, they get a royalty. So now think about it. If I tell you there is a lifelong possibility to make revenue, wouldn't you be loyal to me? So we have a strong legal team that works with the designers to ensure that they have an exclusivity contract with us and they're not sharing the same designs with anybody else. Plus, the technology enables us to crawl across all live data sources to avoid any kind of plagiarism in design. So we are also building intellectual property in design. So think about it. Technology is enabling us not only to bridge the gap between talent and demand, but also enabling us to avoid intellectual property violation in design standards. So we are building a new method of quality and standardization in the design world itself.
And what success have you had bringing first-time designers into the fold?
That's a brilliant question you asked me, and that was the whole motto, or rather the vision with which we built IRA, that how we can allow talent who've never been recognized to get a foothold in this industry. So currently IRA has over 120 designers who've been contributing on our platform on a regular basis, and 82% of them are absolutely new. So which means they have, firstly, when I say new, they don't have a design degree, and they've never had a chance to showcase their design. So we have somebody from Jharkhand, a lady by the name Rima. So when she wrote to us, she said, I'm a housewife, I have 2 children, I always had a knack for art, and I have done this. Do you think I have a possibility to be acclaimed and acknowledged? And we said, of course. And she's one of those people whose design have sold the largest. So see the opportunity of self-sustainability and self-employment that we are opening up to the whole of Indian talent base.
And what are other applications of digital technology that you envision revolutionizing fashion design in the future?
What are the 3 main components when it comes to fashion, right? One is design, where we have to create intellectual property, and that's what I said. See, why should only software and hardware be patented? Design can be patented as well, because it is something which is a curation of your mind. It is indelible, it is important. So you should be able to create intellectual property. And that's the way we're going to safeguard, our garments, our interests. Technology that will enable us to create intellectual property in design will be a big disruption, which we're working towards. The second important part is fabric. Now, sourcing has to become automated. When I mean automated, sourcing cannot be just restricted to just India alone. There are Southeast Asian countries that have tremendous weaves that they can send back to India. So there can be a cross collaboration there as well. like almost 62% of fabrics get wasted, okay, when it comes to manufacturing. And what I mean by getting wasted is very simple. Because of the inavailability of good technology, it's very difficult to ascertain the total amount of fabric required for each cut. So I think these are the three areas where there is huge opportunity to evangelize, to automate, and to innovate and make manufacturing a much more disruptive and technology-oriented industry.
And how challenging is it to foray into a creative field, but through an entrepreneurial lens?
You know, I've always learned this, you know, Pooja, when I was growing up, and I'm a big follower of Swami Vivekananda and his teaching. And he says a good leader identifies people better than him or her to lead the guard, right? So I'm not a fashion designer. I like wearing good clothes. And I was looking out for, you know, people who could provide me that. And here came an opportunity where I said, I have the ability to invest. I have the technology acumen to be able to kind of, you know, provide that infrastructure. How about I reduce my time to market by not hiring designers, but by insourcing design talent from elsewhere, right? So I'm an investor. I'm somebody who has a vision to make this industry disruptive, to ensure that we are able to reach scale, sustainability, and we are making exclusive designs affordable.
It's time for a short break, but up next, our Digital India Summit Winner Series continues. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Digital India Summit Winners Series. With a structured, scalable approach to planting trees, Sankalp Taru Foundation is supporting rural livelihood in the most innovative of ways. Here's how.
Sankalp Taru Foundation is planting and proliferating trees across India with a single swipe. With an online platform that connects environmentally conscious urban dwellers with rural farmers from the country's most remote regions, the foundation is firmly focused on the triple bottom line. Scaling plantations by sowing the seeds of technology, Sankalp Taru Foundation is nudging marginalized communities forward while neutralizing carbon footprints. Tying digital innovation with traditional irrigation techniques, Sankalp Taru is hard at work and rapidly redefining rural livelihood in the process.
So the literal translation for Sankalp Taru Foundation is pledge to plant. Walk us through the underlying premise.
While we conceived this idea of Sankalp Taru, what we have felt is in the society there are people who are conscious about creating greenery, planting trees, but they don't have a very credible platform through which they can contribute. So we have created an online platform where they can plant trees from anywhere in the world, and then this tree is physically planted on ground, and then this plant is nurtured by our beneficiaries, which could be farmers or students, and then every plant which is planted on ground is nurtured into a tree which benefits not only to the environment but to the entire society as well.
Well, there seem to be many stakeholders in this ecosystem, but how do they stand to benefit?
So the impact is very wide in terms of environmental impact, and then yes, there is a social economic impact as well, as we are helping farmers by not only planting trees in their field, but which creates greenery in return, but then this also brings livelihood options for them, increases their yearly income. That's the impact which we see, which is very wide.
This platform connects rural farmers with urban environmental enthusiasts. Walk us through the technology components that make this integration seamless.
I'll just give you an example. So someone sitting in Bangalore might want to plant a tree and gift it to his sister on the birthday. So that could be the intention. And then, they come to sankalptaru.org portal. They can select to plant tree across 10 to 14 states which we have. So from Leh Ladakh to Tamil Nadu, we are operational in various places. the notification goes to, suppose they have planned to plant this tree in Leh Ladakh. The notification goes to the coordinator in Leh Ladakh. On their phone, they get this notification that they have to plant, suppose, 10 trees. They plant it physically on ground at the beneficiary's field and geotag photograph these trees, upload the photographs, and within seconds after plantation, the mail gets triggered, and the person who had planted this tree virtually from Bangalore gets the notification, hey, your tree was planted at so and so place. Here is the beneficiary farmer in whose premises we have planted this tree. Here is the photograph of your tree. In case you want to visit your tree, here is the location on Google Earth. So complete transparency is maintained in the entire process, and the technology platform has helped us creating this seamless integration where the contribution trickles down from the contributor to the beneficiary, and then it takes the shape of a tree, which impacts the entire ecosystem.
There seems to be a shared environmental and socioeconomic benefit here. How do you measure the impact?
So, as far as the environmental impact is concerned, the matrix is in terms of what is the CO2 absorption, which this tree is going to sequester throughout the lifespan. That is first. Second is what is the total area which we have turned into green belt or green orchards. So in terms of acres or hectares, then it could be what is the total oxygen released by this tree throughout the entire lifespan of the tree. Then it could be if we have checked soil erosion or prevented or increased the groundwater table. So there could be various parameters for the environmental impact metrics. As far as the socio-economic impact goes, it could be what is the increase in net income of the beneficiary farmer, how many people we have engaged in the entire process. So that farmer could have many family members working in the field, and then we could be impacting their livelihood. That could be second. Third would be what is the nutritional need which we are meeting of the entire nation by growing fruits. So the list is very long in terms of metrics.
How scalable is this model and how reproducible is it ultimately?
So when we conceived this idea, we started a small pilot project from Andhra Pradesh, a small village in Anantapur district. Then slowly we had scalable program in place because this entire platform which we have is plug and play. So suppose whatever best practices, metrics and processes which we had in place in Anantapur, we have replicated all these processes throughout the plantation sites which span today across from Leh Ladakh to Tamil Nadu, from in the west from Barmer to West Bengal in the east. So it's quite plug and play model which has helped us in scaling up our operations.
Not too long ago, you were working in the software space in the States. Could you have imagined then that you'd be sitting in a 35-kilometer pomegranate orchard and essentially empowering rural livelihood with your initiative?
So, yes, there was always a zeal to give back to society and Mother Nature. And then when we came up with this idea of, channelizing contribution online of tree plantation, so definitely it has become a success. The credit not only goes to the technology platform or the entire Sankalp team, but surely to the beneficiaries who day in day out nurture those plants and strive to make those plants grow into a tree.
Sankalp Taru Foundation, in its mission to create a greener India, has garnered the support of everyone, from students to the armed services. Planting trees against and amidst the harshest of natural landscapes, the foundation is deeply committed to providing sustainable incomes alongside a sustainable environment. Planting with a deep sense of purpose, Sankat Foundation is making India eco-friendly and future-ready, one tree at a time.
Well, that brings the Digital India Summit Winner Series to a close. We'll see you next time.
Next week on Digital India Heroes, we bring you another set of winners from the Digital India Summit and Awards 2017. A company that's bridging the country's immunization gap, Khushi Baby, and a social enterprise on a mission to revolutionize rural education, CLT India. Stay tuned.
A Times Influence Initiative.